take this fact off of me.
Bob Dylan, the legendary musician whose songs have touched hearts across the globe. On stage, he's a poet whose lyrics have become anthems for change. But have you ever wondered what shadows might linger behind the spotlight? Today we're diving deep into the world of Bob Dylan as his daughter finally confirms what we've long suspected. Throughout his career, Dylan has captivated audiences, amassing numerous accolades, including the Nobel Prize in Literature, multiple Grammy Awards, and a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His influence on music and culture is undeniable. Yet, beneath this monumental legacy, there lies a personal history filled with intricate tales and undisclosed truths. What could his daughter have revealed that casts a new light on this iconic figure? To better understand the complexities of Bob Dylan's life, let's see how it happened. It's May 24th, 1941. In Duluth, Minnesota, and little Robert Allen Zimmerman makes his grand entrance into the world. His parents, Abram and Beatrice Zimmerman, raised him and his younger brother, David, in Hibbing. Now, this ain't your typical small-town story, because this kid had some serious rock and roll vibes flowing through his veins. You see, Dylan wasn't just sitting around, twiddling his thumbs. Nah, he was soaking up the sounds of legends like Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Little Richard. Heck, he even used to bust out some piano tunes imitating Little Richard at high school dances. Talk about setting the stage on fire. So, what does a young, ambitious guy like Dylan do? Well, he starts his own bands, of course. The Golden Chords and Elston Gunn were just a couple of the names he rocked with. And let me tell you, this guy wasn't shy about putting himself out there. While he was supposed to be hitting the books at the University of Minnesota, he was actually out there in Minneapolis, strumming his guitar and belting out folk and country tunes at local cafes. Oh, and let's not forget his stage name, Bob Dylan. Yeah, you heard that right. In 1960, the unstoppable Bob Dylan ditched college and headed straight to New York, chasing dreams and his idol, the legendary folk singer Woody Guthrie, who was battling a rare disease in a hospital. Imagine young Dylan sitting by Guthrie's hospital bed, soaking in every moment, every story. This wasn't just a visit, it was the birth of a new musical era. Dylan soon became a staple in the buzzing folk clubs and coffeehouses of Greenwich Village, rubbing shoulders with other musicians and writing songs like There Was No Tomorrow, including Song to Woody, a heartfelt tribute to his ailing hero. Talk about making waves. In fall 1961, after a rave review in the New York Times, Dylan scored a recording contract with Columbia Records. He didn't just stop there. He legally changed his surname to Dylan and released his first album in early 1962. The album, Bob Dylan, was a mix of traditional folk blues covers and showcased only 2 original songs. But oh, that gravelly voice of his set the stage for what was to come. 1963 was a breakthrough year with the freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Now we're talking hits like Blowin' in the Wind and A Hard Rain's Oi Gonna Fall, songs that defined a generation. And let's not forget the romantic whirlwind with Joan Baez. By 1964, Dylan was more than just a folk singer. He was a voice for the people, though he grew weary of the protest label. With his distinctive voice and poetic lyrics, Dylan didn't just bridge the gap between music and literature, he obliterated it. He set a new standard, proving that music could be as rich and complex as the finest literature. Who was the true love of Bob Dylan, the legend behind All Along the Watchtower? Before we dive deep, let's quickly look back at his romantic life. First up, Suze Rotolo. She's the girl on the cover of the freewheelin' Bob Dylan. They met when she was just 17, right after Dylan hit the big city lights of New York in 1961. She wasn't just any girlfriend. She inspired some of Dylan's best songs like Tomorrow is a Long Time and Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. Suze was more than a muse. She shaped Dylan's views too. Involved in big movements with CORE, she helped Dylan open his eyes to major political issues. They lived together on West 4th Street starting in early 1962 in a small but buzzing apartment. In his book, Chronicles Volume 1, Dylan said meeting Suze was like a scene from a movie. She was that impactful. Suze's political passion fired up Dylan's songwriting. She even got him to write The Death of Emmett Till, a powerful song about a tragic murder that shook America. Suze wasn't just hanging in the background. She gave Dylan feedback, making sure his songs hit hard on truth and justice. Suze's influence on Dylan was huge. She wasn't just part of his life, she was part of his music. Unfortunately, their relationship did not go well, and they broke up. Then he started seeing Joan Baez. Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, the ultimate musical power couple of their time. Their bond wasn't just about love, it was about creating magic through music. They were each other's muses, propelling each other to new heights in the music scene. Their love story began in 1961, but it was more than just romance. Dylan and Baez inspired each other, pushing boundaries and creating timeless tunes that still resonate today. Dylan's switch to electric music was a game-changer, and Baez's influence played a big part. Yet, their romantic journey hit a roadblock in 1965, with Dylan calling it quits. The breakup was a mystery for years, but it's rumored that Dylan's transition to electric music left Baez feeling left out. Despite the split, their friendship remained strong. They continued to collaborate, both on stage and in the studio, proving that music could mend even the deepest of wounds. Dylan eventually apologized for his part in their breakup, confessing in a PBS documentary that aired in 2009. He admitted that he ended things to shield Baez from the chaos of his ever-evolving career. Despite their past, their paths crossed again at the 2010 White House Civil Rights Concert, though they kept their distance. Their story didn't end with the breakup. Baez channeled her emotions into her art, painting portraits of Dylan and immortalizing their love in her ballad Diamonds. Meanwhile, Dylan expressed his admiration for Baez's talent in his own documentary about her, showcasing her unique guitar style and soul-stirring voice. Bob Dylan's love life has never been short of drama, and his relationship with Sarah Lowndes was no exception. They met in 1964 amidst tangled romantic webs. Sarah was married to magazine photographer Hans Lowndes, while Dylan was entangled with folk queen Joan Baez. Dylan's sudden decision to marry Sarah left many stunned, including his tour manager, Victor Maymudes. Dylan saw in Sarah a stability that he couldn't find with Baez. Despite the initial shock, they tied the knot in 1965, marking the start of a tumultuous journey. Sarah's influence on Dylan was profound. She transformed him into a dedicated family man, immortalized in his songs and memoirs. Yet their marriage was far from perfect. As Dylan delved deeper into his introspective side, cracks began to show. His drinking, infidelity, and obsession with home improvements strained their relationship. Despite their separation, Dylan held on to hope, serenading Sarah with a heartfelt song named after her. However, her stoic response signaled the end. Years later, Dylan admitted his shortcomings as a husband but acknowledged the positive impact on his fatherhood. His songs Sarah and To Make You Feel My Love spoke volumes about the love he harbored for her even after their separation. Their story may have ended, but the echoes of their love lingered in Dylan's timeless melodies. Bob Dylan's love life reads like a who's who of the entertainment world with affairs that spanned decades. Besides his well-known relationships with Sarah Lowndes, Joan Baez, and Suze Rotolo, Dylan's romantic escapades extended to other notable women. In the mid-1960s, he reportedly had a fling with French singer-songwriter Françoise Hardy, immortalizing their encounter in the song I Want You. Then there was his rumored involvement with socialite and actress Edie Sedgwick in 1965, who inspired songs like Just Like a Woman. During the 1970s, Dylan found companionship in actress Sally Kirkland, who appeared in his film Rinaldo and Clara, and lent her vocals to his album Desire. He also had a relationship with actress and singer Roni Blakely, his co-star in the film, with whom he sang the duet Hurricane. In a surprising turn of events, Dylan proposed to soul singer Mavis Staples in the late 1970s, but she declined his offer. He also had a relationship with former Beatles assistant Chris O'Dell, chronicled in her memoir. Dylan's longest relationship during this period was with former model and actress Ruth Tarangil, which lasted from 1974 to 1994, ending in a palimony suit. In 1986, he secretly married his backup singer Carolyn Dennis, with whom he had a daughter, but the marriage ended in 1992. Throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, Dylan was romantically linked with his backup singer Helena Springs, with whom he co-wrote several songs. Currently believed to be single, Dylan remains a music icon, recently selling his entire song catalog to Universal Music Group for a staggering $300 million in 2020. Despite his tumultuous love life, Dylan's contributions to American songwriting were recognized with the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2016, solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest artists of all time. Did you know that Bob Dylan considered Sarah Lowndes to be the love of his life, and that he even left Joan Baez for her? Let us know in the comments if you're Team Sarah or Team Joan, and as always, thanks for watching.